In 2014, one of the riskiest ventures in all of modern media was created and put out to the masses. Sadly, we're still doing this show. I'm Mike.
And we get it, Michael. You like Guardians of the Galaxy.
And this is PopScorn, motherfucker! Welcome to PopScorn, the Final Entertainment Movie Review Podcast, and today we've come full circle, Darren.
We have. Time is a flat circle. We've arrived at the end of it.
Who'd have thought 3 years on
I know.
from the first episode?
And we still haven't upgraded from my kitchen.
I know, we're still here. The world changes around us, but
we are a constant people.
well,
lucky shrews.
to quote the great J.B. Jovi, it's all the same, only the names have changed.
Every day, it seems we're wasting away.
Yep. Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the latest Marvel movie to come out.
Just in case you haven't been with us for the whole 3 years.
Yeah.
Michael was something of a fan of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Let me just paint the picture for you. He brought merchandise for the film before it came out.
Yep.
All the pop vinyls and everything else he can get his hands on.
Yep.
Which in my book is still a critical sin. Even though it paid off this time, just saying, it's a critical sin to do that. He liked it. I don't actually think it was your number one movie that year somehow.
No, something came up top against... No, wait, no, it definitely was. It definitely was the best of that year.
Fantastic.
You're thinking of the year where you thought I was going to give it to Mad Max, but then I gave it to Star Wars.
That was it. Okay, correct. And he liked it so much, it spawned a meme. It lasted well over a year of, we get it, Michael. Yeah, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Because you don't speak about it a fair amount.
Well, it is my favourite comic book series. The 2008 Abnett and Lanning run is my favourite comic of all time, period. It has yet to be topped. It's that good.
I've heard they hate each other now.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. But, you know, that's what happens when you get dragged back into Guardians of Infinity and you only get half of your team to play with. Oh, well.
See, he reads comic books, everybody.
Yeah, and then Brian Michael Bendis came and ruined everything, which is how I like to end every sentence nowadays.
I've also heard that as well.
He ruins a lot of things. But I do like Guardians, Darren. I own a Walkman, an actual TPS
Oh, God,
L2.
yes, he does actually own a Walkman.
The Walkman.
And he actually went out of his way to buy a cassette tape of Awesome Mix Volume 1.
I mean, it was made widely available in HMV, other shops are available, but it was
Just
there.
saying, Michael.
And I have listened to it on the cassette player.
Just saying.
I've just got the headphones for it, so I'm a Shrines building. I have one of the Star-Lord Nerf guns. I'm waiting on my second. I intend on spray painting them, getting them looking accurate. Hopefully going to get a helmet soon. But we're not here to talk about my ridiculous thousands of pounds literally spending on this bullshit.
Jesus Christ.
Well, okay, that's my whole collection, not just the Guardian stuff, but we'll take it as read.
That include the fruit padlocks?
Yes, it does. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Darren, it's out.
It is, not in America.
Well, by the time this releases, it will be, obviously. It will be available worldwide, but we've had it for a week now.
What have they got against themselves?
Well, it's the whole thing of them being able to film in places like Pinewood over here and stuff like that, and Shepperton. We have the studios where they have all the sets, so, you know, Infinity War's filming here. So
Star Wars is filming here.
Star Wars is filming.
Have we not tried to sneak into these places yet, Michael?
I think possibly because, Darren, we have to have money and a day job first, and this isn't it.
Ah.
If this was it, you know damn well I'll be milking that shit for views.
Prince William gets to go in on my taxpayer money, no less.
Yeah.
That's a weird rant. Guardians, Michael.
We should probably talk about the movie now, Darren.
Yeah.
Cards on the table, Darren.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is a better movie than the first one?
No.
You don't?
I don't think it's possible to catch lightning in the bottle twice. I think it's a very good movie. I don't think it's going to be any surprise if you say the same thing, but I just think cards right on the table. I think the first one was such a straightforward story, and it was dealing with characters that I had no clue about, whereas most comic book movies I have some level of knowledge. That dealt brand new characters, I had no expectations whatsoever going in. I think that kind of... Because that then you fall in love with those characters. I suppose the Spider-Man, who I fell in love with back in the 90s, and just continue to, you know, be mistreated by, it's a different kettle of fish altogether. And it was a very straightforward story. The villain was disposable. That's something that's improved in this one. I'll give it that. This one, on the other hand, I think the story's a bit more... It's not necessarily a complicated story, but it's just not as straight and true as that one was. There's a few delineations that the first one just didn't have. I think the jokes are still good. I think the action's great. As I said, I think the villains improved tenfold over running the Accuser. But it's a lesser movie, but it's still a very, very good movie.
I think I'm half with you. I
Okay.
think I'm half with you in the sense that, no, I don't think this is as good as the first movie, because the first movie is just so encapsulative of what the Guardians were as a team, and introducing a team that obscure and bringing them to the now where I Am Groot is one of the most quotable things to put on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It was lightning in a bottle. That being said, I think I enjoyed it more than the first movie. Objectively, I don't think it's the better movie, but I had such a fucking good time watching this film, Darren. You have no idea. This movie was made for me. And I'm saying that maybe as a precautionary statement. If you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, and I mean a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, if you've read the 2008 run, if you've read other cosmic stuff like, not that he's in the movie, but Nova, Annihilation Conquest,
not Nova
War
again.
of Kings. I'll come to Nova.
Literally.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. But if you're a fan of Guardians, Jesus wept, this movie is made for you. This is cosmic like you wouldn't believe. Cosmic that I didn't even think the MCU would be capable of doing now. But it's not as tight. And it's just not as good, which is a shame. But it's by no stretch of the word bad.
It's The Raid versus The Raid 2.
Yeah.
They are both equally great movies, just the first one's tighter and the second one's got more in it. It's a typical thing to do with your sequel. I don't think they ever go too far with it, where they overfill it or make it too zany, too joke-filled, too serious, whatever caveat you want to throw on it. It's still a very, very well-made movie. I'm still very excited to see Guardians going forward in future movies, and Part 3, which you now know that James Gunn is going to be doing, which is fantastic.
First person to direct a trilogy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, yeah! Oh, wow! Well, the Russo brothers will have had their third film by the time...
Yeah, but they didn't direct Cap 1.
But no, they didn't.
No, they've done Cap 2, Cap 3, Infinity War. Whedon only did Avengers 1 and 2. Gunn is on for volumes 1, 2 and 3 right now.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Not bad for the man.
He's the man for the job. He hasn't put a foot wrong yet.
Yeah, Super kind of fell apart. But...
No, I mean in
I
terms
know.
of... I like Super.
Yes, shut up, cry. It's all I can remember from that movie. We have been very, very distractible today.
We don't have any notes, it's probably why.
Yeah, I made no notes because this thing, when I enjoy a movie a lot, like with Assassin's Creed, I wrote a goddamn essay on how stupid that film was because I just need to remember everything stupid about it. I really enjoyed this movie and didn't really overthink anything.
Definitely.
Really.
There is so much more of everything that was in the first movie. It's a little looser, yes.
Yeah.
But there's so much more, Darren.
There is, but I think for the most part, the 4 of the first 5 characters that came from that movie have just kind of kept on keeping on.
Which is fine.
I think Star-Lord, fantastic in this movie.
Still really good.
Yep, got the emotional beats that I think the first one had, but I think this one's got it better. They're taking a more personal Star. This is more of a Star-Lord movie.
True.
I think than an actual Guardians of the Galaxy movie. They still very, very much feel like a team and a cohesive unit, but he's the central character.
Obvious,
as opposed to it being like a team-up movie, I think.
Which I'm okay with that, because obviously he's the window into this team. He's still the only Earth-born hero within Cosmic Marvel MCU. Yeah. So it's obvious that it was going to be his story and it's his window into the cosmic. Mm-hmm. But what they've written is really, really good. Yeah. And I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think Rocket Raccoon, again, very, very well played. Got to have his laughs, got to have a cool action scene all of his own, which I think he kind of lacked in the first one. He was always with Groot, it was always a double team act. Whereas this one, you see him taking down an entire gang full of Ravagers that are coming to get him and Groot. That was a really, really good scene. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
His pairing with Yondu, who we'll talk about in a minute as well, I thought was utter genius. It was they were really good. They were the new double act for this movie, as opposed to, I mean, we don't have large Groot or King Groot, whatever you want to call him, to play off. So we've got Yondu. And that was a really, really good idea to pair these two characters up, because obviously this version of Yondu is different from what we see in the comics. Yeah. So really good. We'll come to Yondu, though, because I want to gush about Yondu.
Drax, I think, outside of Groot, who's made a very obvious change from the first movie, I think Drax is kind of the one that's altered the most. Because they seem to up the slapstick humour with him, and humour in general with him, over and above the first one. Even kind of changed the style, whereas then he was just kind of oblivious and a very like straightforward person. Here he's more giggly. like, I imagine in the trailers, people were like, well, he must get covered in some alien goop that makes him, like, laugh at everything. No, he's a lot happier with life.
He's joyful. I like it.
He is. It's just a bit of it was a weird turn, but not necessarily a bad one.
No, I really enjoyed Drax in this movie. I think what they've done is that what they've realised is that they have a character with which it's possible to play a lot of comedy off without him being to the point of ridicule.
Yeah.
And they've struck a very, it's a very thin line, and they've struck a very good balance on it, because he'll have some serious moments, but there's always a comedic undertone. Mm-hmm. And I like the idea that he's not aware of his own comedy, and it's just everyone else going, whoa, okay, just around him. And the audience loves that. And
yeah.
I've seen this movie twice already. I saw it twice within 24 hours, which is, probably the worst it's gotten for me.
That's
Actually, no,
Michael.
I did see Civil War 3 times within the space of 48 hours.
Jesus.
So, yeah. But no, Drax is surprisingly really, really funny in this movie. I think there's a lot of his catchphrases can be put on t-shirts right now.
I think that it got results, so I can't necessarily argue against it. I just feel like because he had a lot of pathos going on in that first movie, though, about everything that happened to his family, how much he wanted to kill Thanos.
I think there's still moments of that in this one.
There's moments of that, but they're lesser. But they serve the purpose of he's really the comedy engine in this movie, more so than anybody else. I think Gamora, they still haven't quite cracked her.
I'm happy with the performance that's being put in.
Yeah.
But she's still not Gamora to me.
No, she's not the baddest woman in the galaxy.
No, and that's what she should be.
She's still kind of just fawning over Peter Quill.
In a way, and then in not a way. And this will they, won't they romance is just something I don't believe. No, I didn't believe it in the first one.
It feels tacked on.
I believe it less in this one.
Yeah.
It's just very much like, they're going to fuck, guys. It might happen. Like, that's... Like, it's like they're like grabbing me by the shoulders and going, do you see the romance? And like, no, I don't. I don't see the romance.
Like, Joe, there's that score they give to movies where, in order to qualify, two women have to talk about something that's nothing to do with men.
Oh, the Bechdel test.
Something like that, yeah. I don't think Gamora would do very well on that, because if she's not talking about Peter Quill, and whenever Nebula's in the picture, they're talking about their relationship as a result of Thanos being their adoptive father.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt like. I didn't really feel she was her own character. She was serving other people's stories. Yeah. As opposed to really being, like you said, I haven't read the comic books, but I know she's meant to be so much more than this.
Yeah, she's like the baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy, with the backstory of having Thanos as an abusive step-parent. Yeah. And that's cool. Mm-hmm. Why haven't we gotten a thread based around that? Nebula's had a better thread based around that than Gamora has. And let's be clear, Nebula's not a big player in the comic books, so why bother? Why can we not give that story to Gamora? Again, I don't think the performance is bad.
No, not at all.
I just think that it's a poorly structured version of what could be a fantastic character. Yeah. Because we don't have, and I know that more than anything, this movie is an out-and-out comedy, really, compared to everything else we have in the MCU. Yeah. But why don't we have somebody who's the straight man? We don't have somebody who just plays everything 100% seriously. Yeah. And Drax doesn't anymore. He used to be that guy in the books. Yeah. So why not make it Gamora? Why not actually give this character some weight as opposed to just being an accessory to every other member?
Well, I don't think it needs to go that far, because I then think in such a fun movie, to have someone such a straight character like that would actually turn people off on her.
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean? That, like, if she's such a stick in the mud in comparison to everybody else, that might be detrimental to her. I'm just saying that just... Have a character beat that's not, she's angry at Peter Quill for being that, she's in love with Peter, or Thanos abused her and Nebula. And then the fifth member of the team from the original movie, the Baby Groot.
Yay!
Completely different, obviously, because he's now this size. It worked.
Well, they could have actually really gone out of the way to make that the focal point of the movie. Yeah. And they didn't, and I'm glad they didn't. I think we would have got tired if every other moment was, look at Baby Groot, what is Baby Groot doing? Yeah. Baby Groot's just kind of there. Yeah. And that worked because you have the opportunity for some very cute sight gags based around this character. But there's only really one scene where it's played on, and that's enough, and it's fine.
Yeah. Like, I think they just about struck the right balance with him. In that, you're right, he is mainly just there, because I don't know what how else he really could have served that story. And maybe they saw that from the first one. Just because he says, I am Groot, that's as much it's a quirky thing that gets him over, that's always going to limit his storyline potential, because he's always going to have Rocket Raccoon there to put words into his mouth, basically. They struck a nice balance. I think cynical Darren is still thinking it was a toy building exercise.
Yeah.
He's not an Ewok, but
no, he's not an Ewok.
He's a much better version of an Ewok. You know what I mean? I don't think he's any much more than that. There was no real reason.
Are you saying, Darren, that he's got a new hat?
He has a new jacket at one point.
I do like Baby Groot in the little jacket. That's a plushie.
Oh, he does try and wear something like a hat.
He does.
Oh, you know there's going to be... Well, there's probably already a million Funko Pops of the Baby Groot. But the payoff at the end...
Is that the way you're going to pronounce it?
The Baby Groot.
The Baby Groot.
Yes, not the Baby Jesus.
Oh,
the Baby Groot. The payoff gag right at the end, I think is worth it, because that was really funny in the post-credits. But yeah, he didn't annoy me, so I can at least say that. And I understand he's appealing to other audiences that aren't me, going, why isn't he big and tall and stabbing people? Why is he a cute little thing? I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got there 3 new members of the team, 2 of which we met previously, 1 brand new for this team. Nebula, I think, kind of just... She was carried on from the first movie. I don't really think she changed all that much.
There's nothing wrong with that, really, because she was lined against Thanos in the past movie, and also Ronan. So, you know, there wasn't much for her to do in the previous movie other than to have that one confrontation with Gamora that just ended in her losing an arm and falling off a ship. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
That everybody thought she was dead, just a one-time deal. Now she's back. And she does get a little bit more development.
Yeah.
I don't think it worked all that well, but I'm glad we got it. Because it just kind of... I like the way that she was characterised as just... Because she's more machine than person by the end of it, that she is so effective and dedicated to...
A singular goal.
Yeah. That she then doesn't see through.
Yeah.
That's what annoyed me about her plot thread. It's just kind of... It just ends, and then she's kind of like... And now let me say my new plot point to in the middle distance in a scene that you're not totally expecting. I'm like, well, okay then. So that's your place in the next movie already decided. We'll see you then, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. I always felt like she was going to have to be... She is more plot than character.
Yeah.
I think she helped Gamora's case in this movie in that she at least gave Gamora something other to do than fall over Peter Quill. Which I think had Gamora not had that might have been a real weak point for this movie.
That's true.
So it does give her that to do, which is fine. But no, it's quite obvious she's going to be the connecting tissue, it seems, between the Guardians of the Galaxy and the rest of the MCU. If Thor Ragnarok doesn't make that bridge, it'll be Gamora finding Thanos on Earth or after he's done his attack, and then she somehow gets the Guardians of the Galaxy to come and follow her. That's fine. Yondu, on the other hand...
Yeah.
Oh, Michael. Go on, then.
I had so
Off
much fun with Yondu. I just thought he's 100% the best, most improved character in this movie. And I don't think that you really can disagree with that, Darren. He was given so much more to do, both plot-wise, performance-wise, characterization-wise. Rooker was able to build a version of Yondu that totally works within this scenario and within this team. And they've made a lot of very big decisions about Yondu that can't have been easy to implement and can't have been easy to get past the first draft, but I'm so glad that they did.
Yeah.
It was so good, Darren. It was so good. Also had my favourite line in the movie. I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, we'll talk about it after the spoiler one. No, I think he was the best character in this movie. I think because we know the first members... I know Yondu was in the first movie, but he was basically the secondary bad guy.
Yeah.
Here we get so much more from him, and he has the best lines. He has the best action scenes most of the time.
He had the best action scene.
The whistle arrow. And it's so much more a complete performance all round that you really invested in that character, more so than I ever thought I would have been for someone who I felt was another character in the first movie that was all quirk, and I didn't really know what he could really do more in the second movie, but no, he was excellent in this movie.
Like in the first movie, he was just kind of introduced as kind of like a legacy character. It's kind of like, if you read the comics, you'll know who Yondu is, and da. But now he's like, no, this guy is a main player, and with good reason.
Yeah.
Oh, he was so good, Darren.
He really, really was. Yeah, you told me before we watched the movie, because I watched it when you watched it the second time.
Yeah.
He was like, Yondu's my favourite character, and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll see. But yeah, he was. Michael Rooker did fantastic in this movie. The Ravagers in general, I think, were better, because they're not really... Because you now get to enjoy Yondu, which I think was a part of the problem in the first one, because he was the bad guy, you couldn't really be all into him.
Like he had the cool ass whistle arrow, and he had like a few good scenes in the first movie. But you were like, but ultimately he's a dick, and you can't get behind him. But now you can get behind him. He's still a dick, but you can get behind him.
Like Loki in For the Dark World, though.
Yeah.
Like, we're just going to shuffle this a little bit to the left, and we can enjoy more now. And that means they now have to make no bones about the Ravagers being idiots. You don't really have to fear them anymore. They're still kind of playing the secondary bad guys, but yeah, they can now start taking the mickey of Taserface, their leader. That was quite funny, and just making it out to be morons.
Yeah,
which I am more than okay with. Right, the final member of the team, portrayed by.
Oh, do you want me to do it? Because I do know how to pronounce
go on.
it. Pom Klementieff is the actress playing Mantis.
I was going to go with Clementif, but all right,
It is.
cool.
It is. I originally said Clementieff, but it is Klementieff.
Yeah, she's playing Mantis, who I believe was a bigger part of the original Guardians of the Galaxy team in the comics.
That's right. Yeah, in the 2008 team, she's a bigger part of that. And there are some changes made to her from the comics to the movie, but you know what? I think it actually makes a lot of sense to make those changes. I was thinking about it, and I did reread the comic, because in this movie they've made her out to be. Was it some? I don't know what the word they used was. It was like emotionopath or something like that. She's a telepath in the books. Right. She can telepathically communicate with and operate certain things. She's a psychoactive character. Here, she's able to control and manipulate and ease people's emotions, which is a bit of a left field turn. But for the sake of this plot thread, I guess it kind of made sense to tone her down in terms of power scale. Otherwise, she could have just solved a lot of problems straight away. Yeah,
as is the problem with all psychic people. They can ruin any movie they choose.
Yeah.
She was good.
She was adorable.
She was adorable, but I didn't think she needed to be anything more than that. I think she served her purpose well. She was, again, more plot than character.
I'd like to see what they do with her in Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Because I think she wasn't given enough to do, having to play off everyone else.
Yeah.
Because she has a lot of screen time with Drax, which I really enjoyed, because they're both kind of extremely socially awkward and not used to like communicating as a team, really. Yeah. So that was fun, and I liked that a lot. It helps that she's completely adorable. Like, it's the scene where she's talking to Drax on the steps, and I'm like, okay, I know what they're doing with this character, and I think it's great, and I love it. But up against everyone else, did she have a standout moment? And I don't think she did.
No, I think just because she's not built for action.
It's bad that, like, her most, like, memorable moment might be the one in the trailer when she gets hit in the head with a rock. Yeah. Which is a bit of a shame, because I really liked what they did with her, but she hasn't got... It's the Nebula problem. I think hopefully she'll come back and have a lot more to play with in the next movie. Hopefully as a part of the Guardian supporting team, which is something they seem to be building up, which 100% needs to happen. Like, there's the group who go out and do the missions, and then there's the support team. Right. That's awesome. But no, give her more to do. She was very good.
I think, her power set, she does get to do something at the end. She's not she's not a bystander.
Oh, yeah.
She does actually get to help out in the end. But, no, I like that she was unlike any other characters in the movie. They could have made her really bland and throwaway, but they didn't. They made a concerted effort to make her noticeable, but very different from everybody else. And that's why it did work with her and Drax. They seem to be building a romance there.
Maybe?
That seems to be the way they're going.
And yet not really at the same time.
And yet completely.
Because there was a lot of comedy to be had in Drax finding her completely disgusting, which is really funny.
Yeah, she did have quite a few good lines. You know what, I'm going to warm up on Mantis. But yeah, you're right. She's got more storyline potential going forward. I don't think she'll be one of the ones making the jump to the Avengers movies.
No, and that's fine.
Yeah, I imagine that'll just be the original 5.
Well, we need to have members that don't, like, as much as we want Phil Coulson fills everyone. I hope he does.
Phil Coulson phones everyone about Galactus.
Yeah, as much as we want that to happen, there are characters that are reserved to side roles, and they have to play those roles well.
Yeah.
I think if Mantis is one of these people, like Nebula, who appear in the Guardians movies, in the Guardians franchise, as it were, that's fine, because they are playing a very important role over there. They would be wasted on a crossover.
You're right. No, you're completely right there. Right, well, we have the major villain. Why is it spoilery?
Is this spoilery? Because we've been shown to have two villains, really, in this movie.
We all know that Kurt Russell is in this movie.
We all know he's in it.
Yes. Is it revealed in the trailer what he is?
I'm your dad, Peter. Yeah, it's in the...
Okay, yeah. He's playing Star-Lord's dad. He's Ego, the Living Planet.
Which is really just quickly gone, by the way, I'm a planet. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just kind of thrown on you. It's not like a big reveal like I expected it to be.
Yeah.
It's just BT Dubs, I am a brain surrounded by a planet.
BT Dubs, I am a celestial.
Yeah, that's not a thing from the planet, right? From the comic books, right?
No, Ego wasn't a celestial in the books, but holy shit, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I like how he went, no, I'm a god, but with a lowercase g. That made it okay, because I was like,
that's cool.
Because that's my problem with comic books. They always have to do that escalation thing. So if you start talking about literal gods, I'm going to start actually tuning out of like, okay, you're not going to kill a god in this movie. But they struck a very, very nice balance with him. I really like Kurt Russell in this movie.
He was so good.
Because he's still a handsome devil. He's still so charming.
He's very suave. I like him.
And his plan of like, because obviously he's reunited with Peter for a reason. Mm-hmm. The plan makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And you don't really see the twists coming. At least I didn't.
No, I didn't either. I really enjoyed the twist. I like that this is probably one of the most effective villains in a singular... Because he's only appeared in this movie so far.
Yeah.
So in terms of villains in a singular movie, this is definitely one of the better ones.
No, it's basically him or the Red Skull.
Yeah, that's a good point.
In terms of really, really good ones.
And as much as I like the Red Skull, I wasn't shocked when he turned out to be a Nazi. You know what I mean? But when Ego turns out to be a bit of a baddon, I was like, oh, okay, it's getting interesting now. I like where it's going.
It is, but no, he did a really good performance. It's like he wasn't told he was in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
He was acting to a higher standard than that.
They put him in the costume. Pratt walks on set, he goes, hang on, is this... No. Talking him down. Like,
no. Everyone's just dressed a bit funny. If they're going to fix it in post, they're all going to look like normal human beings. It's fine. Yeah, he was really good. I don't know why I was expecting him to not be this good. Because Kurt Russell doesn't tend to...
Well, we haven't really seen Kurt Russell in much stuff apart from the more iconic roles, you know what I mean?
He was in Sky High.
I know, but let's face it, he's not Harrison Ford, is he? He's not turning up in every other movie and that's a big deal.
He could have been. He was Han Solo, so he could have actually been Harrison Ford.
See, it's a very pert comparison I'm drawing here.
Oh, it's like you planned it or something.
Sort of. But yeah, he's known for his cult movies, really. Yeah. And not for really appearing anything major and holy shit, Kurt Russell is in this movie since those.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal that he's in the MCU because of those movies.
Yeah.
But that's not to discredit him as an actor, because he's great. He's really, really great.
So, I just had a thought. At one point, they were saying that Al Pacino was going to be in Marvel movies.
That was a thing, wasn't it, in talks? Never confirmed, but always in talks.
Right, okay.
Also, when's Blade? Like, are we getting Snipes back? What's going on there?
Right. Yeah. They seem to be sitting on that one for reasons, but... Right, back on track.
We all know what happens when Marvel sits on an idea is you get Iron Fist and the Inhumans TV series.
That might be okay.
Might be.
Come on, it's got Ramsay Bolton as Maximus the Mad.
Okay, I'm looking
forward
to it again.
And you don't even watch Game of Thrones.
No.
And it's going to have Ramsay Bolton.
I wanted to wave a sausage. Anyway, back to Kurt Russell. From waving sausage.
What a wonderful...
Well, he was a hunk in his day.
Yes, he still is.
Yeah.
His wife, Goldie Hawn, is always like posting on Instagram like she still thinks Kurt Russell is the hottest piece of ass in the world and can't believe she gets to have sex with him. Because, like, fair play to her. Yeah, I don't think I could picture anybody else now in the role of Ego the Living Planet. He was because it's a big performance, but this is what Park Kent should have been. Like, he feels like a father figure, but he's also so much more than that. Whereas whenever Kevin...
Park Kent? You sure you don't mean, like, Jor-El?
No.
Park Kent?
Whenever Costner was trying to do this in Man of Steel.
Oh, yeah.
It was always like he was trying to be this bigger personality, but he's being very obvious about it. Whereas Kurt Russell just kind of, like, you know, just this stuff just pours out of him.
Yeah.
The sense that he's so much bigger than just being Kurt Russell is kind of innate.
Yeah.
And I really like that. He wasn't overplaying it, but yet at no point were you questioning that this guy isn't a lowercase g god.
And a literal planet.
And a literal planet. Oh, when that kicks off, that's so good. That's after the spoiler warning, but yeah. We do get another bunch of baddies who very much feel like they're being set up to be used later on. Like they're just being introduced here. This was the Sovereign?
Yeah, the Sovereign.
Their leader was played by...
Elizabeth Debicki.
Has she been anything that I should know about?
I think so. I don't know
feel
her
like she
filmography off the back of my hand, to be honest.
I've just had a quick look and nothing's really jumping out at me, but there we go. She was in The Night Manager, for example,
Like,
with Loki. But
yeah.
she's in like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and The Great Gatsby. So, nothing amazing. But yeah, she plays the head of the Sovereign, the gold people from the trailers. And they are there to be cannon fodder.
Yeah.
Literally there to
cannon
be
fodder.
cannon fodder. There's something at the end that makes me think they're going to be a bigger deal going forward.
Oh, yeah, probably. Which is weird, because they appear to be replacing, much like the Chitauri replaced generic aliens A, B, and C for Avengers that could have been anything, like, literally anything, like Skrulls, for example.
I don't think they own the Skrulls.
Exactly, but, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the Sovereign seems to be replacing, admittedly, one of the more boring aspects of Marvel, the Enclave.
Right.
Who were just literally wacky human scientists who went into space.
Oh.
So if we're going to be in space, we may as well have genetically engineered gold people instead. I'm okay with this. That's fine. I've no idea if the Sovereign are actually kind of like a cosmic entity, because if I don't know it, it must be obscure. And James Good is nothing if not a fan of the goddamn obscure. So
It really is.
So if the Sovereign are a thing in the books, answers on a postcard. But I think they are replacing the Enclave, which might be a spoiler for those who understand it. But if you do understand it, you've already seen the movie. You are a Marvel fan.
They were a nice visual touch, I think, to the movie.
Yeah.
All gold.
Colour palette, by the way, the movie. Jesus. Like, I watched some side-by-side comparisons of, like, the trailer fodder for this movie.
Yeah.
And then footage of Civil War. And as much as I love Civil War, like, hands down, think it's the best superhero movie ever made, it does half look a bit washed out. Compared to how wonderfully colourful this movie is.
Well, they're dealing in different worlds. You know, Civil War was a relatively serious movie for the MCU. It was going to be a little bit washed out, whereas this one isn't that at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were a nice addition. I don't really think I'm excited to see them come back necessarily.
I am, but for not for them. If you know what I mean, for what they represent, but not for them as characters.
Right. Okay. Well, now when you speak another major character returning from the first movie, the album choice.
Yay! Which you're right, does feel like a character in its own
right. It's
own
such
regard.
a major part of this movie. I can only remember really the AC/DC soundtrack to Iron Man 2 being as big a part of the movie's kind of marketing as this has been. I think they got it right for the most part. Like opening with Mr. Blue Sky is always a big old thumbs up and down. Good Facebook. That was really good. But they pick songs that mean something, and I don't just mean like the lyrics are reflecting what's happening on the thing. They actually have the songs be referenced by the characters in the movie and have them mean something.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's something that the Volume 1 did a little bit, but then there was also kind of like throw-ins, so like David Bowie's Moon Age Daydream didn't really have a connection to that movie other than it just sounded a bit otherworldly.
Yeah.
Unlike, say, Hooked on a Feeling, which was so deep-rooted in that movie, and Redbone's Come and Get Your Love, and Ain't No Mountain High Enough. This one seems to, track by track, tell the story of the movie. Towards the end of the album, like, for God's sake, if you want a spoiler for the movie, just read the album track listing, which is a shame. But, yeah. Actually, no, to be fair, well, we knew Ego was his dad, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but they do such a good job. The only problem I have is, oh God, this wound me up. This was the equivalent of someone going, there she was, just walking down the street singing.
And then not finishing the song.
You play The Chain.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be it.
And for the most part, The Chain is nothing. It's a garbage song that I don't like. And then it stops, it's the same track, but it stops, and then a good song starts.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, the F1 music. And I was like, they play the chain twice in this movie. The first time I wasn't expecting, but the second time I was like, right, they're clearly building up to something. A big action scene's going to kick off. We're going to get a hero moment, and then boom.
I thought that was going to happen.
Doesn't play
Blue balls
at
it.
all. Oh god. Ah.
I mean, they made it, the second time it was played, they made it sound better and more important, but I think that was the anticipation of getting to the chain, come together, running through the shadows, because that's where I thought we were going.
But it didn't happen. He's like, dun 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 dun.
And then not, yeah.
I couldn't take that, but oh god! So the movie is to the
It's
crap
like
part of the chain twice, and then not the good music.
So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Not allowed to clap. Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Oh right.
Doesn't feel right.
No, it doesn't. I think that's everything. I mean, we get another Howard the Duck cameo.
That's a thing. I mean,
it's
is that spoilers?
It's not as major as the first one. Like
No,
it's not at all.
It's not the big deal, so, you know.
We meet Sly Stallone.
We do. Sly's in the movie, playing a Ravager.
Yes.
That we cannot say anything about until spoilers.
Trust me, after the spoilers, Michael's probably going to fecking explode at the at all the stuff that happened there.
You're not wrong.
We also get the greatest Stanley cameo of all time. That's my explosion coming up after the spoiler warning. I think that's about all we can really discuss.
Yeah, like, just the way it was put together as well. Actually, I did see this movie in 3D the first time I saw it. And for the most part, it's fine. There's one sequence where the 3D amplifies the comedy so much. Won't spoil it. Well, I will spoil it after the spoilers.
Okay.
I won't spoil it for you here right now. So, if you're wondering whether this is worth the 3D ticket, it's not gonna make the movie any more enjoyable. But there is a certain sequence in the movie which is made goddamn hilarious with the inclusion of 3D. So maybe just for that, maybe pay the extra £1. Why not?
Okay.
Treat yourself.
So we're all giving this a hearty recommendation.
Hell yeah.
No slight. It was never in doubt, really. I don't think they really could have ballsed this up all this bad.
No.
It's a lesser film than the first one, just because I don't think it's a special.
Well, it's because it's a bit more bloated, but not
Yeah.
in a bad way.
No.
It's like Father Christmas. It's fat in a good way.
I can deal with that. Yes, it's a sequel.
Yeah.
And unless they're, The Empire Strikes Back, they're almost always a little bit less. But I can deal with this amount of a little bit less.
Because it's so minuscule, really.
Yeah, it's still a great film. It still does everything from that first movie that you liked. It sends characters we like on a new adventure. There's still potential going forward. It's not like, oh god, Pirates 5. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's a lot of narrative potential still locked in all of those characters and the scenarios they can go and do. We get hints towards it at the end, in the end credits. There is 5 end credits.
Yeah, 5 end credit scenes.
Because I'm like,
that is the way to get. I mean, not that we weren't not going to sit through all of it.
Yeah.
But that's a way to stay till the literal last second.
Well, I was like, I think they're trying to kill post-credit scenes. Like, they've now, got to the point, we have nothing to put in them. We're giving away too much, we need to kill them. They try to kill it by being boring and not really having much to do. Now they're just going to try the opposite approach and just give us, 14 post-credit scenes and just kill it that way. Didn't really work. I liked all of them.
Yeah, they were all great.
Yeah, so do go watch this movie. It is fantastic. Is it?
Yeah, that's the thing. So, in terms of movies you've seen this year, Darren, where does it rank so far? And then in terms of superhero movies, because really, admittedly, it is only going up against Logan.
I think we all said that Logan was a great movie. It was a very well put together movie. But just because this one's more fun,
yeah,
I think it has to be. I prefer fun over grit, so I'm gonna give the nod to Guardians.
I mean, I was never not going to give the nod to Guardians, but I have to point out that I think objectively, Logan is thematically the better movie.
Yeah,
for what it represents.
But I think
Guardians is so much more fun. Much more fun.
This is now sitting at number 1. I think it is a better movie than the Power Rangers movie, which was my favourite movie of the year up until this point. But no, I think Guardians has really. We've got a lot of momentum to carry forward now because we've got Spider-Man: Homecoming next. That's the important one for me this year. Thor Ragnarok could go either way. It could either be too wacky and too much of a retread of Guardians territory, or it could be exactly what Thor needed. No, Spider-Man's the important one. It's Marvel getting their baby back, getting their boy back, and putting him back on the throne where he should be.
It's the one that I hope kills all ideas of a Venom movie.
Oh, God, I hope so. What can a Venom movie be without Spider-Man?
Literally nothing.
That is literally the stupidest idea.
Unless the two words immediately following Venom are Space Knight, I don't care.
No, but the entire point of Venom is that he's a dark reflection of Spider-Man. You can't have Venom without having Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The only version of that character that works without Spider-Man is Flash Thompson's Space Knight.
But that only comes because we have 2 decades worth of pathos built up with Venom.
Exactly.
It's the stupidest idea in the long, sad history of bad ideas. I just made an Ian Malcolm quote, and guess what, Michael? He's back from Jurassic World 2!
Oh, I knew you'd be happy.
God, what a great day that was.
I know, right?
Ah, right.
Guardians is great.
All together now. We get it, Michael. You like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah, feels good. Feels good to have it back.
It does, right.
3 years, bloody hell.
I know. It didn't feel like that long, though, does it?
Getting old. We're getting old,
I know. Spoiler alert, Stan Lee is Uatu the Watcher!
It's very heavily implied that he's the Watcher.
It happened. They listened.
When they fucking showed up, I was like, no way, because I didn't think they had the rights. But they just show up. There's 3 of them. I'm like, holy fucking shit.
He's the same character. No, I will say.
No. His line was, anyway, I was working as a FedEx delivery guy at the time. I'm like, he's the same character. He is the same character, potentially, in every continuity.
Well, listen, I need to dial it down for a second, because I came out of that movie and I immediately grabbed you and shook you.
Yeah.
It's real. It happened.
Did you give yourself a dead leg over this one?
I didn't.
Oh.
Just because I had it slightly spoiled for me.
Yeah.
In that I saw a post from like comicbook.com who always end up spoiling things for me, the rat bastards. I don't even follow them. But so all I need is one person in the entire history of my Facebook friends to like a post, and it's so it said Kevin Feige confirms long-held belief about Stan Lee, which I then jumped to the conclusion that it's confirming the fan theory that he is not just a Watcher, he's Uatu the Watcher. And I was like, great. Upon reading that story after the movie, that's not what was actually confirmed. It was confirmed that Stan Lee's playing the same character in every movie, but it didn't go as far as to say Stan Lee is Uatu. Which kind of is like a lesser for me, like, no, but that was the point.
Yeah.
I worry, as cynical as this sounds, that they've maybe held off on that slightly in case they need to use Uatu in the future and Stan Lee's no longer with us.
Yeah. I get it.
That's my worry.
Having him hang out with the Watchers is enough, though, I think. If they're really holding off so that Uatu can be a pivotal role in somebody else's story, say, like, if you do the lesser version of Nova. See, I told you we'd be coming back to Nova. If you do the lesser version of Nova, otherwise known as Sam Alexander, otherwise known as not Richard Rider, then he's a very integral part to his story. And also, if you plan on doing stuff, say, in the Vision of a Perfect Future, where we get the Fantastic Four rights back, and we can have Kang the Conqueror, then Uatu ties into Kang the Conqueror's story.
He ties into the Galactus story.
Ties into the Galactus story.
He says, watch out, he's coming.
Yep.
Phil, get on the phone. You have to phone out too, up your minutes.
Phone everyone.
Phone everybody. And I kind of, I get it, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. Because in an ideal world, and I always said this to you, I had hoped for years, and as morbid as this sounds, I'd hoped to God they had this scene prepared. They had Stan Lee smiling. It'd be a post-credit scene. You'd see Stan Lee smiling, and then he would turn into Uatu the Watcher. This would probably happen after his death. Like, they would keep him just cameoing until that happened. And then that's our sweet, loving goodbye to Stan Lee, is that he's actually Uatu the Watcher. This might have been as close as we're ever going to get to that. But here's the thing. If you do a voice change on Stan Lee, turn him into Uatu, he looks like Uatu now, and
give him a different voice actor.
They can just modify Stan Lee's voice. So if in the terrible thing that will happen eventually, that he passes on, they can just get somebody else and it still sounds like Uatu. That's how you make Stan Lee live forever, essentially, in Marvel movies, which is the sweetest sentence I can possibly think of saying.
Yeah.
It was good. It was the best Stan Lee cameo of all time.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it gave him a reason. It gave him, he is a character. He's not just like for fun. He's a character. Potentially who I do the Watcher.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with say in the unfortunate circumstance that when we roll around to Volume 3,
yeah,
that is Stanley's last one.
Yeah.
If his character has somehow wound up back with the Watchers, then there's opportunity for that. But we've got the Watchers, Darren. The Watchers are in the MCU.
They are a thing. They are a thing, which is a good thing. I like their character tropes. That's a useful thing to have in Cosmic. For connecting bridges, it's very useful to have the Watchers knocking about.
Potentially connecting bridges between universes.
I just wished, I know they wouldn't have the testicles to do this, but oh my god, I wish he'd say, like, when they're walking away, in the last post-credit scene, Stan Lee gets to close a movie. That's never happened before.
Oh, cool.
As they're walking away, they have so many stories. I like him just stop blurting them out. Obvious ones in the MCU, but they throw him on where it says, that time that politician guy crawled out of the sea. Thus referencing the first ever Stan Lee cameo in the first X-Men movie, connecting all of the dots into one singular Stan Lee universe. That would have probably been too much for me. I might have had a dead leg and my dick might have exploded. Didn't happen. I was saying sad about that for some reason, but yeah.
About not ending. Oh, can you imagine that quote on the poster? This movie made me dickless.
That'd tell me. I actually want to watch this movie a second time just because I had so much tension built up of like, when's it going to happen? I need to know this is true. I need to know he's the Watcher. I think that might have even tainted my enjoyment slightly because I was so tense. Like, please happen.
Like, doesn't matter what happens in the rest of the movie. Give me Stan Lee now.
Yes, exactly that. Oh, right, now, that little explosion can now make way for Michael exploding over Sylvester Stallone.
It's gonna happen. Stallone is fucking Starhawk! Yes! Yeah, I mean, he's not Galactus, but yes!
Yeah, he's not Galactus.
I mean...
And the bald bloke from Smallville isn't the Silver Surfer. He's...
No, Martin X.
Iceman.
Yes, essentially.
Spiky Iceman.
Spiky Iceman. And I'm okay with this, Darren. I'm so fucking okay with this because this is the original Guardians team. 1969, now referred to as Guardians 3000 because they live in the future. They have modified this team. They put them into the MCU. They've made them clearly an old team, which Yondu was a part of. Yes, linking it back. Comics, Darren. Comics.
Even Miley Cyrus couldn't piss on your parade.
No, I was happy about that. Of all things, I was like, that's the one I had spoiled for me. It was Miley Cyrus is Mainframe, and I was like, okay, so that's an old character. I'm like, okay, I don't know why they're doing that. But as long as it's relegated to a cameo, that's fine. Didn't expect that. Yes. I mean, she's only the head of Mainframe. Mainframe's like a fucking 9-foot tall black and gold robot who's now being voiced by Miley Cyrus.
Fantastic.
I'm so okay with this.
You also got, what's his face? What's his name? From Pulp Fiction and...
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames is a person.
Charlie 27, a modified soldier from Jupiter.
And who is the kind of Yoshimitsu looking dude?
Now, I had to look that one up.
Right.
There's also Alea. Alea, not Alicia. Alicia. God damn it, this is so annoying. Gold Elizabeth Debicki is one character that begins with A, and I think that's Alicia.
We'll look it up.
Aisha, sorry. It's Aisha.
Yeah, she's Aisha.
This is Alea, which was the... I forget what the name of the actress was, but everyone seems to be pleased that she's in the movie. But she's playing essentially Stallone's ex-wife.
Right.
Who becomes the second Starhawk. Other than that, she's just badass warrior lady. Don't fuck with her.
Wonderful.
So I'm okay with this. So essentially, what we've been told is that in this MCU, before the Guardians existed, there was a team of Ravagers who may or may not have been referred to as Guardians. Probably not.
Right.
That consisted of Yondu, Starhawk, Martin X, Charlie 27, Alea, and Mainframe.
And see, Feige's come out and said they might be a film by themselves.
No.
I don't see that happening, but Volume 3.
A Stallone, Cyrus, Ving Rhames movie.
Oh God, what a wonderful world we live in.
It's a weird thing going on in my head.
I hadn't even put that together.
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus and Sylvester Stallone are on the same team.
So, Miley Cyrus is playing a 9-foot tall black and gold comic relief robot.
And we're happy about him.
This is the best. This is the best version, Darren.
Hang on, I missed out. Who is the Yoshimitsu looking dude?
Oh, I didn't actually explain, did I?
Yeah.
So I had to look that one up because I didn't know this one. I know, and I still couldn't tell you the name because it's so complicated. But basically, that's some kind of weird squid from the future who takes over from Doctor Strange as Sorcerer Supreme. So you know he was doing that science shit? He's magic.
Oh.
So we've now got a direct link from the mystic world, because there's, you know, the Earth-based stuff, the mystic stuff, and the cosmic stuff. So now we've got a direct link between mystic and cosmic, because we now have a sorcerer as a part of... Now, he wasn't in the original Guardians team, to my knowledge.
Right. But he's a future squid.
He's a future squid.
Yoshimitsu was a future squid in quite a few Tekken games. Can I just pretend it's Yoshimitsu?
You can call him Yoshimitsu.
He turned up in Soul Calibur and then no one batted an eyelid, so why can't he be in Marvel?
Yay!
Yeah, let's hope he commits seppuku.
It's Yoshimitsu.
Yay! Miley Cyrus, Sylvester Stallone, Ving Rhames and Yoshimitsu. Best film ever. Okay.
Make it now.
Right, so
that's the biggest deal. Like, when he turned up and he's got like these wing spike things coming from his shoulders. Now, obviously, those come from Starhawk's helmet instead.
Right.
In the comics. And I looked at them and I went, ooh, that's familiar. Why do I not know what this is? And I didn't clock that Michael Rosenbaum was playing Martinex, who's an ice warrior from Pluto. I think he's like an assassin or something like that.
Right.
And it didn't clock originally. I just went, oh, that's a cool design. Again, seems oddly familiar. It genuinely took me to the end of the movie where Ving Rhames showed up in a big fuck-off yellow jumpsuit. And I was like, that's a big guy. And oh my God. And then it started to click and up. And then Stallone showed up in the post-credits. I was like, it's fucking happening. He's Starhawk. And then all the pieces. And I literally, there was only about 8 people in the midnight showing, by the way, which is very poor showing.
Oh, wow.
I mean, other than us.
Was that the Odeon?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So other than us, there was only about 8 people, but all of them didn't know what was going on. So the fact that I was literally pounding the seat in excitement, slamming my feet on the floor, going, fucking yeah! Everyone wasn't watching the movie at that point.
What is known as the Power Rangers reaction.
Yeah, the Power Rangers reaction.
Wow.
I was so fucking happy with that.
Hopefully you have some shred of journalistic integrity left for me and Michael now that we've just nerded out over Stanley and Sylvester Stallone.
Don't care.
I've met Stanley, by the way. Michael hasn't.
Never will.
I have touched Uatu the Watcher's back. Let's talk about Kevin Russell. Kevin Russell?
Kevin Russell? Kevin Feige, you mean?
No, I mean Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Kevin
Russell.
He's a villain. He's
the villain.
And really good. Like, the twist comes when his grand plan for the universe, basically. He's gone a bit mental, and he thinks that he can, shape the universe in his own vision. Now, that might sound like it's kind of like, typical Marvel, like, I want to rule the universe. But they pitch him so well that it makes twisted sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's
not just, I want to rule the universe of the Iron Fist. It's like, I'm disappointed with what is out there.
Yeah. Why
isn't everything like me? It seems more personal, and that's why I like it.
And I can fix it, is basically his way around it. And yes, someone of that power set would see humans, biological life, and even planets as lesser things, in the same way humans, think about ants. So it made a lot of sense to me. So I wasn't like...
What is this, a universe for ants?
It needs to be at least 3 times more Kurt Russell than this one. It made a lot of sense. So it wasn't like that's just silly. I was like, that I can get on board with. And then he says the stuff about Star-Lord's mom, when it's like he had fell in love, he'd finally found the one, and he had to kill her in order to carry out the grand plan.
Yeah, so he essentially is the one that killed her.
It killed me to put that tumour in her head.
Oh, I was like, that was proper... Okay, this villain is effective.
Yes.
And I like what they're doing with him.
He's a feck as well.
He's a
feck. And immediately Chris Pratt goes from, I can show you the world, to and shoots the shit out of Kurt Russell.
That was awesome. I mean, it's a bit gory thinking about it. I mean, I know that Kurt Russell is only a vessel for the character of Ego the Living Planet. But holy shit, the fact that you see like his veins and shit tear away as he's getting shot, I'm like,
he does
wow,
like a full-on...
the opening of RoboCop.
He does like a full-on Dr. Manhattan reassemble as well, from like bone all the way up to everything else.
That is true.
That was really, really good. So that's why I'm kind of buying into him as a villain. Now, he is a one-shot because he's now dead.
Yeah, which is a shame. But he was the best goddamn one-shot we've had.
I don't know how you could have kept him alive.
No.
Because he is a planet as opposed to a human being. it was kind of too much of a force to just kind of leave out there willy-nilly. So it was okay that they killed him.
Yeah, he was, like I said, the most effective one-shot villain.
Yeah.
And don't worry, Darren, before he died, we got Big Art Space Face. And I'm okay with that.
Yes, we did. And there's the other thing, because they now make out that Star-Lord is part celestial, and even go as far as to say, as long as this planet exists, you are immortal. I was like, well, that kind of screws Star-Lord up. But no, they kill the planet, he's now human, they make it very obvious, without being overly, kind of dialogue-y about it, that he's no longer immortal. Good, that puts danger back into his scenes again. That was really, really good. The entire last scene, the kind of final action of the piece, is so very, very good. Highlighted by my favourite line of the movie, which is Drax the Destroyer having the flight suit put on him and then shouting, "My nipples!"
Yeah, I liked that.
And instantly I forgave Batista for everything bad he did in wrestling. Instantly. Just the shouting, "My nipples," whilst flying off the screen. Oh, God. I genuinely, the people next to me jumped at how much I laughed. And that I got a slap on the arm from my girlfriend for being too loud at laughing at Batista screaming about his nipples. Oh, Christ. It was really well. The only bit I didn't like about the final thing was when he turned into Pac-Man. That kind of brought
was
me
that,
out
was
for
that
a
too
second.
far for you then?
Yeah, that was too far for me. It would have been a cool shot to see both of these rock people going at each other like the end of Rocky 3, whereas it was just Pac-Man.
I think that's the thing. Sometimes the humour doesn't land in this movie.
Yeah.
And that didn't land as a joke for me. When I saw it, I was like, oh, no way, that's pretty cool. Because, they got the rights to Pac-Man for that.
They did.
I was like, okay, cool. Pac-Man is canon in this movie. Then again, they've been referencing Bandai Namco games since Avengers 1. That man is playing Gallagher.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a thing. So that's a continuation of that thread, I guess.
Wonderful.
Which
Can't wait for that crossover
the
universe.
logical conclusion of that thread, to be honest. Giant Pac-Man eats giant ego.
That was one of the few parts of the movie that did lose me. He got me straight back. With the death of Yondu.
Fuck me. I did not expect to feel for Yondu that much.
No.
Oh, my favourite line. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
No. But
You look like Mary Poppins. Was he cool?
was he? This is the thing. I like that they went all in that they said, right, we've got this character that people are connected to. We can afford to kill him off and it not be, it's not going to affect merchandising all that much or future plans all that much. Let's give him the beans, make him a main character, really make people care about him, kill him. That way, it's almost like it's the smartest way to have this movie make impact without it making an impact.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. In the grand scheme of things, Yondu going down doesn't really affect the next Avengers movie.
No,
it doesn't really affect future Guardians movie, unless it gives that future Guardians team something to do. Let's reverse death and do some time travel.
Let's do Search for Spock with Miley Cyrus, Ving Rhames, Sylvester Stallone, and what was the other one? Yoshimitsu. There we go.
Sold. Howard, you've done it again.
These days are ours.
Spend them with me. Oh, happy days.
We've done it.
I could get behind that, but it just so smart writing, and I didn't see it coming because they invested so much time in Yondu, but I'm glad it happened.
He had my second favourite line of the movie as well, which was more serious. Might have been your father, but he ain't your daddy.
Yeah. The redemption arc.
The redemption arc was so good.
They have that flashback of Yondu really, and it's kind of like the grand reveal that he was taking care of him the whole time. Yes, he did it in an orthodox manner, but he saved him from going back to his dad because he knew what was going to happen. He did raise him. He was his dad all along. I liked it so much.
And the firework funeral scene at the end. This scene does not end on a joke. It ends on Rocket shedding a tear for Yondu. I'm like, wow,
I know.
It's powerful.
I know.
To be fair, they did choose Father and Son by Cat Stevens / Yusuf, if you want to call him by his actual name, which is a song that hits me there.
Yeah.
That's a song I enjoyed with somebody else who is no longer with us.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this choice, no, don't do it. So, very, very powerful stuff towards the end of the movie. Oh, also the other big death of the movie, the Walkman!
Oh, Christ.
You know what this means, Darren?
What?
I've had to invest in buying another piece of music playing technology.
Oh, Christ, you didn't buy the MP3 player thing, did you? The Zune?
Towards the end of the movie, Darren. Towards the end of the movie, they introduce a way to keep the music thread going. Because now we are no longer dealing with the Earth playlist. We're no longer dealing with Peter Quill's attachment to Earth. We are dealing with Peter Quill's attachment to his family. Mm-hmm. We're dealing with the playlist that Yondu has made for Quill before he died.
Right.
Which is delivered to him on a Zune. Which, have you ever seen a Zune, Darren?
I haven't seen a Zune.
Me neither. I will soon be seeing a Zune.
Oh.
I'm seeing it as an investment. You know what happened with the Walkmans? £20 for these, now they're £1,000. It's the smart thing to do.
Play.
It's the smart thing to do.
Are you going to track down what those 3,000 tongues are and put the exact same 3,000 tongues on the Zune that Star-Lord has?
That is my intent. I already tracked down and purchased the exact model that was in the movie, because it turns out there was multiple generations of Zune. Who knew? Found it. It's
God, you're
on
at
its way.
different levels sometimes.
James Gunn, you gotta stop making me buy antiques.
Stop making me buy obsolete forms of music playback.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, that's everything, Michael.
Is it? Is that everything? I feel
think
like there's a
so.
lot more in this.
Well, there's a few things we can talk about. We got the Defenders trailer today.
No, I mean in the movie. I'm pretty sure we're leaving some bits out. Have we hit everything?
What are we leaving out? We talked about the music, we talked about the action, we talked about... Oh, Adam Warlock.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I knew we were missing
Adam
one.
Warlock's coming and people are meant to be excited. Oh, should I be excited?
Yes, he's a cool-ass character. You'll like him.
He's got a split personality from the future.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
All right.
Adam Warlock's kind of like Space Jesus, but he can also turn into Space Hitler. He's weird.
Oh, God, he ain't giving up the Sentry, is he?
God
forbid one day
did you hear about the cameo that was cut from this movie?
Was it Sentry?
No, it was Nathan Fillion playing Wonder Man.
Ooh.
Cut from the movie.
Okay.
Which apparently was to make, like, as far as we know, it was to make sure that Peter Quill's still the only Earth hero that we have in the cosmics. But apparently, apparently Nathan Fillion was going to be Wonder Man, and that was going to be a big deal. But now we have Adam Warlock, and I imagine that when he's first introduced in Volume 3, he will be good and then go immediately bad.
Yeah. Which,
is the exact plot line he has in the 2008 run of Guardians, so I'm all on board with that. That's 4 of the post credits. The other one, Teenage Groot.
Teenage Groot was funny. It was worth it for the payoff joke of Teenage Groot.
Also, Goldblum.
Goldblum wasn't in this movie. Oh wait, he was dancing right.
He was dancing in the credits.
In the credits, yes.
4 reasons to a Hasselhoff song. Hasselhoff was in the movie.
Oh yeah, Hasselhoff was in the movie.
It was dumb, but I liked it.
I get this feeling. Had he been around, because I know they mentioned that they tried to get Bowie into this movie.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that Peter Quill's dad wouldn't have been David Hasselhoff. It would have been David Bowie.
That would have been cool.
Because he was literally... His mum told him that he was... his father was from the stars. David Bowie was the star man. And young Peter Quill made that leap of deduction.
That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool. Instead we get Hasselhoff. I mean, it's fine, but it's like the Pac-Man thing. It's just like, oh God, it's fucking Hasselhoff. Yeah. Not being an 80s kid, it kind of makes it hard to buy into some of these things.
I get it.
Like, you know what I mean?
But, you got to understand that, like, it's, culturally a big thing. And
I get
it ties to how the character is written.
But again, if you need to know how 90s I am, go back and listen to the Power Rangers review.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
Christ.
positive Power Rangers review.
It was good, Michael. It was so good. Right, Defenders trailer.
It's happening.
It dropped today.
It did.
And it was fine.
It was perfectly okay. Further showing that Iron Fist is fucking useless.
I was like, Matthew was, because my brother hasn't seen Iron Fist yet.
Yeah.
And he watched that trailer, and I said, do you know that bit where Luke Cage just completely waffles him and he drops like a sack of shit? And yeah, so that's the Iron Fist series in a nutshell.
Yeah, 13 hours.
He's the leaf, he's a living weapon, he's the dangerous man on the planet. Nope! Let's spend 13 episodes thoroughly disproving that moniker. Oh God.
And not showing a dragon.
And not showing a dragon, critically and crucially. The new Guardians ride has opened, or is opening very, very soon in Florida and California.
California only, not Florida.
Oh, it's not the Florida one?
It's not in Florida. We're keeping the Tower of Terror there, apparently. Which is a shame, because I want to do that. But they have Star Wars World, so, I think I can let it slide.
Guess what?
What?
I might be going in 2019, just after the release, when Star Wars Land's open.
Nice.
I'm going. Oh, God, it's going to be so packed.
I know.
Oh, my God, that's going to be the worst thing. But I'll be going.
I do want to go so badly.
Is there anything else, Mark?
The Last Jedi trailer came out.
I haven't seen it.
I know you're not seeing it.
Oh, the Cloak and Dagger trailer came out.
Oh, yeah.
I was like... I know I have no investment in Cloak and Dagger whatsoever.
I kind of like Cloak and Dagger.
But I liked that trailer.
I like that it seems to be trying to do something different in that it's trying to be the American version of Skins with superpowers.
And I was like, I'm not in that demographic anymore.
No.
But I was like, that's a smart thing to do.
Definitely.
That's a smart demographic to pitch at. Because those teenagers can be on the cusp of like, oh, Marvel's so mainstream, Marvel's for kids, Marvel's for nerds. If they can get them with their own show, then they can have, the 4-quadrant movie and have all the fingers in all the pies. I liked it.
Yeah, I did like it.
It was a smart thing. And we're also getting an Inhumans trailer, it seems, very soon. The poster usually comes first, and then a week later we get the trailer.
Well, if everything seems to be on the up and up for Marvel in the TV department anyway.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is so good this
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s
season.
really good.
Oh, I was so worried when they're doing life model decoys. And I was just like, that's just going to be bad. It's working surprisingly well.
And at the minute, they're also doing the Hydra storyline as well.
Yeah, they're about to do what ifs. They're going into the what if universe. Oh, God, it's good. It's really good. I'm annoyed that Agent Carter isn't coming back for season 3.
Yeah, I would have
I
liked that.
felt like it had a season 3 in it.
Thing is, though, the stuff that will appear in Cloak and Dagger is pretty much linking straight back to Agent Carter anyway.
It was Roxxon, wasn't it?
Yeah, Roxxon.
Yeah.
Roxxon and the Dark Dimension stuff. So it works for me.
I can deal with
I'm
that.
happy to see more of it in a different way. I'm always happy when Marvel do something that nobody expects, that is good, as opposed to literally every comic they're producing right now.
Yeah, you told me that their comic books are not great.
All of them are bad. Okay, there are still some good characters running around, but the writers...
Are they not rebooting it again with that legacy thing?
Yeah, they've basically decided that, you know how they were like, see all these heroes that are in the movies that you care about? Fuck all of them, because they're all old and really racist. You want these new heroes. And it didn't work out for them. It did not work out. They introduced a bunch of shitty characters, and most of them are now going back to where they belong on the sidelines. So I'm happy with that.
I mean, they're essentially...
The ones that are good still have their own books.
Right.
So Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, Squirrel Girl, who is going to be in a TV series. New Warriors.
Yeah, New Warriors.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, boy. So, like, all the cool ones are still keeping their own books. All the shit ones are going fucking somewhere else, which I'm happy about.
It did...
Hopefully we can get rid of fucking 15-year-old Iron Man, which is just like, here's this new character, she's your favourite now. No, go away. Miles Morales had build-up.
Can we not get rid of Hydra Captain America as well?
Yeah, that was stupid.
What's that?
I think we are now getting back like classic Cap, which is
fantastic.
Because Hydra Cap's
meet the new boss,
fucking
same as the old boss. Fantastic, just the way
boy.
it should be. Right, that is everything for now. If you want to go and find me on Twitter, I am at The Guttridge. On ProWrestling.net, I have finished up my writing duties as of a few weeks ago. I'm recording my final podcast very, very soon. They'll probably be out by the time you listen to this. If you're a member over there, do go listen. Hopefully my one where I rant about why wrestling's so very fucking broken will be on the site for free. But that remains to be seen. We'll see. But yeah, in the meantime, at The Guttridge on Twitter.
And you can go and find me on Twitter personally at @ThatMightGoIn, or the site under @FoulENT, that's FOULENT, which is also where you can find us on Facebook, SoundCloud, Binds, Now You May, and a couple of other places as well. Thanks very much for listening to the Full Circle podcast that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 review. We've been doing this for 3 years now, Darren.
Oh, we have.
Kind of crazy.
It really is. And it's still as good as ever.
I know, right?
Of course. Next up, we have potentially might be quiet, unless we want to go and see really on-the-fence films like King Arthur and the Legend of the Sword.
I mean, not really. I'd rather you go and watch Ghost in the Shell, Darren.
I know.
You know, because we had a fucking good month. We had one movie a week in March. None of them sucked.
I know,
Not
Michael,
a one.
I know. It's a work in progress.
Who would have thought the reality where everything was good was the reality where Trump was president? Who knew, Darren?
Don't link those things, Michael. Don't link those things. There's also Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. So May might be quiet. We'll throw something together, but we've got Wonder Woman in June. Seems like the next absolute dead cert to come up next.
And Spider-Man in July.
And Spider-Man. I've had to book a half day at work because I'm on holiday that weekend, and I was like, no, I missed an X-Men movie for going on holiday. I missed all sorts. I am not missing my boy back in the MCU as King where he should be. Fuck off, Iron Man. You were a fucking means to an end. Spidey's back. Fuck off. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much for listening. Bye.
Bye!